How's that? Everybody said they would go out and get a gun. So I got mine. All right, here we go. Final show of the year. Last night's medication worked. Dr. Walker. Paging Dr. Walker. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to the final edition of the Real Estate Show for 2020. Hello, my name is Eric Willner, and I am your host, as I have been for the last 22 years. The Real Estate Show is a show all about real estate, and its mission here is to educate and empower more Americans to own a piece of the American dream. The Real Estate Show here, America's longest running daily radio show, South Florida's #1 show about real estate, is here dedicated to exactly that purpose. And so hopefully you will tune into us each episode, which is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're live at 5 days a week. We're again on the air at 8 p.m. 5 days a week for a total of 10 shows. Plus, who knows, every once in a while, another little secret show pops up in the middle or on the weekend. And we also are the hosts of a number of workshops, offline, or I should say online, off the air workshops that we have. You know, we have our Equity Accelerator workshop Monday nights at 9 p.m. If you would like to, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this is a writer-downer show. So if you've got a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen, or even a crayon, or better yet, punch it right into your smart device, your computer. The following number, 561-861-2366. Once again, that's 561-861-2366. And text the word equity for your free invitation, space limited, to our Equity Accelerator workshop. More about that in our next episode. On Tuesday night and tonight, you know, we have at 7 p.m., we have our Credit Accelerator workshop. This is an opportunity for those of you looking for a way to improve your credit, create credit, advance your credit, or maybe make a little extra money learning more about the Credit Accelerator process, and you want to join our 2021 expansion team. Yes, we are now expanding our team on the credit side of the business. If you'd like to learn more about that, then all you have to do is type in the word credit to guess where? 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. Now here we are, T-1 to the new year. We got a lot of stuff planned. We've been announcing it, letting little bits out as it goes on. You know, each day of the week, we've been talking about a different aspect as we kind of launch into the brand new year. Our Mondays on a mission, where we laid out the agenda for this week. We talked about where we were going with this program and how we're going to emphasize, obviously, on the, at that time, newly approved $900 billion stimulus package. And by the way, in today's About the Money issue of the Real Estate Show, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about, is about the money on this stimulus package. And I'm not that happy about it, to be quite honest with you. The more that I have researched today and read more into the package, and I'm going to break into some numbers, but more importantly, I'm going to find the parts that help you out, that can help you out, and maybe your tenants and perhaps maybe even a friend that you might be listening to this show and know that they're either in tough times, in a difficult situation. So that'll be on our Thursday show. Jumping back to our Tuesday show, we had a very special guest. We had Skip Wiley, who was one of the former partners for Transcontinental Lending, a nationwide lending organization, a veteran in the real estate field. And we were talking about some of the first-time homebuyer programs and all the advantages and why, if you're out there and you know somebody who's renting, that you believe, and you should, that they should own a piece of the American dream. Let's talk about how to help them and be part of the 100 new homeowners that we are committed to realizing. And we're going to show a lot of that here on our radio show. And by the way, not only can you hear our radio show on the AM 1470 locally, on the 95.3 FM, the 96.9 FM in the local South Florida area, you can also take us with you on the app, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or the Spreaker, just to name my favorite three. You can download that free app on your tablet, your phone, or your computer and be able to listen to this show no matter where you are. Not to mention, you can also listen to this show, which does stream in its entirety live on the internet at our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And by the way, if you're looking to communicate with me, besides the phone number that I gave out earlier, go to automaticlandlord.com so you can send me a message. I get each and every one of those messages there, and I'm able to respond there. And it's a good paper trail, so I make sure I keep up with all of that. Now, so we did our announcements. For those of you who I just got reminded that I didn't talk about our Real Estate 101. Well, we are doing the Real Estate 101, but it's going to start not this Sunday, but next Sunday evening. This is a Zoom live meeting. This is an opportunity for you to start building your foundation of real estate. If you were at one time curious or are now even more interested, we're going to talk this whole conversation. The more that I see what's going on with the economy, the more that I see what's going on with our national debt, and the amounts of the stimulus and all of this. We're kicking the can down the road. We are saddling our next generation with debt. But more importantly, we are setting up for inflation. Not so soon, because the economy, quite simply, can't take rising interest rates. But when you've got to pump all this extra money into the economy and you're borrowing to do so, it sets up for one thing and one thing only, which is inflation down the road. And there's no better hedge against inflation. We're going to talk a lot. I'm going to give you some of the reasons, than real estate. And so stay tuned for that conversation, because it's very, very important. Now, we yesterday on our Wednesday midweek report, we talked about the rising numbers in the home prices, the dwindling numbers in inventory, and we had a bit of a conversation about why, even with the quote unquote oncoming wave of foreclosures, once the stimuluses end, or stimuli, isn't that an interesting little play on words? Once the stimuli end, then we will see an uptick in foreclosures. Only I don't think it's going to be as bad as many people anticipate. And I think that for the overall long-term health of the economy, the sooner it happens, the better. There's a lot of money on the sidelines right now, which is why I think they're going to gobble up all that extra inventory so fast you're going to wonder where the wave went. So we had a long conversation in one of our mastermind calls last night on this very subject. And on this mastermind call, we were talking about why the traditional market way of finding real estate, the traditional MLS, ain't the way to go. And while many people who are first-time home buyers, or let's just say that don't have other avenues, will continue to use that avenue, there are other better ways to find great deals out there. and you want to know where that is, because as I left off our call last night, it's not the big that are going to eat the small in the coming economy, but the fast that will eat the slow. And unfortunately, the fast come in both sizes. But the very fortunate part is, in your local market, real estate is very regional and local in nature. So if you are on top of what's going on in your neighborhood, in your area, your region, if you are on top of some of these alternative ways to track property availability, and you're able to be the first to find out who's in trouble, who's selling, who must sell, and then there's all the other traditional sources: bankruptcies, divorces, deaths, and then all of the other reasons that create very motivated sellers. The closer you are to that information, the more likely you'll be at the front of the line and able to take advantage of some great deals. So last Sunday, at the very last minute, President Trump signed the $900 billion stimulus package. And remember, this was supposed to be a relief bill for the tens of millions of folks, primarily tenants and landlords and homeowners that are literally on the ropes and not able to make their rent payments, not able to make their mortgage payments. And for landlords, if the tenants don't make the mortgage payments, don't make the rent payments, they can't make the mortgage payments, and it sets off this domino effect. And when you think about that's really the headline reason that they're talking about it. I think it's these three major things. Unemployment, number one. And I always like to put unemployment as number one, because no paycheck, no mortgage, no house. And there you go. That ends the story. So the stimulus or relief package obviously needs to address all of the folks that are still unemployed, the estimated 20 plus million unemployed folks out there. And those numbers are shrinking, partially because people stopped filing, partially because people who did file became ineligible and they can't file anymore, or there's no point in filing because there's no benefits left. And then those who are legitimately just simply gave up on the fact, and luckily, and there's also a portion of folks that are getting re-employed as certain businesses which have adapted to the economy, have adapted to the environment with the pandemic and the social issues. And so luckily there are those businesses that are doing well and employing people and bringing some people back to work. So, and some of those are in the real estate and construction business, because as you know, we've been talking about the shortage in inventory. So that's another, stimulus there. But out of the $900 billion that this relief / stimulus package is approved for, we're not talking about the whole argument about the 2000. I'm not even going to go there today. 286 billion of it, or a little bit less than a third, was for direct aid, mostly direct checks and unemployment benefits. So about 286 billion are what those $600 checks are going for, and also to or extend the unemployment. Then you've got 325 billion for small businesses. What we used to known as the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, and some of the other things for quote unquote small businesses. Now, I'm not going to even go into that conversation of what is a small business, because in my opinion, any business that has 500 employees, between 100 and 500 employees, is not exactly a small business. And yet many of these businesses with 500 employees qualified for the last round. What really needs to happen, in fact, I read a very sad article last night of all of the Florida restaurants that have closed permanently, and it went down county by county. And of course, I went to go look at my local county, and I see some of my favorite restaurants, the Zinn Burgers and cool little specialty restaurants that have now ceased and closed forever. To see some big names like Sweet Tomatoes, which is that big, fresh buffet style restaurant. A number of those closed. I've seen, some chain names in certain areas we saw close. Even a Ruth Chris in North Palm Beach, and I saw, it's one that I've been to when Ruth Chris had that passport program a number of years back, and kind of sad to see. And that's a particularly hard hit area of the economy that would fall under the small businesses, particularly the non-chain or the small chains, that really needs the stimulus. But so far, I've accounted for 286 and 325. So we're just about at 600 billion just in those first two line items, or basically 2/3 of it went to small businesses and direct aid. Not so upset about that. No complaints there, other than perhaps the definition of what a small business is. Now, what I'm going to come back to after the break is I want to talk a little bit about the 25 billion that is for the rental assistance, and do a little quick math for you over the break. 25 billion is less than 3%. Okay, the headline: evictions on all the homeless people and all the people getting kicked out of their houses for the foreclosures and the evictions. 3% of this package goes to that headline item that got everybody to vote for it. But what you're going to hear next is probably going to upset you a little bit. So if you've got a sensitive heart, don't come back after this break. But if you want to know the real facts of what's going on here and how this affects the real estate market and why this is a conversation about the money, then stay tuned. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. Don't touch that dial. I shall be right back. Don't get me started. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? I saw your guy, Lindsey Graham, talking today. In fact, let me pull this out of my ear so I don't have to talk so loud. Hey, Marianne, I hope your 2021 is prosperous. Thank you very much. And happy and healthy. And hopefully, by the way, I know that you guys are going through some health challenges. Prayers out to you. Hopefully you're that 2021 is also prosperous, healthy, happy, and very successful. John Brown, the best man, handyman in town, is also on our Facebook page out there. And let's see here. Of course, Erica. It's interesting. I don't see every single name, and it's funny. Yesterday when I powered down the Facebook page, the number of views that were live didn't match the number of live cameras or views that are hearing. Now, I know that some people come in and go out, but the numbers were vastly different. So when I look at how many people are watching live, I know that that's not the right number. But more unfortunate than that is that I don't see every name unless you do a comment. I'll bet unless you type something, a comment, which I love because I love the feedback, but I may not see who's actually up there live. So we're back. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, America's longest running daily radio show about real estate, and hopefully to you, America's most informed radio show about real estate, talking to you about every angle of real estate, whether it be about the properties themselves, the property management for landlords, whether it be about maintenance, financing, locating, evaluating. This week has been such an incredibly busy, active, fast-paced week. And I always think, and I ought to have disavowed myself of this delusion that I'm going to coast, after the 15th of December. And I just didn't get it all done this week. I thought it was going to be easy to check off a whole bunch of boxes. And while it was a very productive box and some great conversations with some lenders and a lot of foundation laid for the new year, It just there wasn't enough hours in the days, and we worked at it. We worked at it. So, but we're ready and we're excited. Tomorrow we'll be back live, first of the year. I had a friend tell me that how bad can 2021 be when it already starts on a Friday? So we start the year off with TGIF. So that'll be good. So I started talking in the first half of the program, laying the groundwork, talking about the current stimulus package, and I gave a bit of background on there, but I think it's important to review that what I have all as context during the December 2020 stimulus package, because it won't be surprised if there isn't another stimulus package pretty quick on the heels of this one. Here's what we want to know, and most importantly, for this show, is what is the consequence that it's going to have on the real estate market. Now, I already started saying by 286 billion of the 900 billion, so just a little bit less than a third is going direct aid, mostly direct checks and unemployment benefits. Thumbs up to that. I'm good with that. If anything, it's probably not enough. And there will probably need to be a sequential, and maybe it's not bad that the stimulus check comes in doses, so that people tend to spend what's in the bank account, and if you dose it out, maybe that's a good thing. Just saying. The second thing, the biggest line item on this relief package is the 325 billion, which is a little bit more than a third. So within these first two items, we're going to account for 2/3 of the 900 billion, and that 325 goes to small business incentives. Now, 82 billion is going for schools, which of course are going to need to do some retrofitting for the new reality. Obviously, there's been all the maintenance and everything that needs to be done while the schools are empty. And obviously, we want to be able to have those schools prepared, correctly set up for the safety, so that our kids can go back to the schools. 69 billion is going to public health measures, and I'll have to dig in more deeply into what that is. But on its face, I don't have any issue there. Another 45 billion goes to transportation, and I don't have any issue there. In fact, I know that the airlines and a lot of long distance mass transportation has dramatically suffered over these last 10 months. So I have no issue there. Then, very disappointed to see $25 billion, and I did the math, by the way, while we were on the break. And the 25, let me go back here. The 25 billion is going to rental assistance and the real estate side, which leaves more than 2 times that amount, 68 billion, for various other junk stuff. And the reason I say junk, because there's money going to Vietnam, to Burma, to Cambodia. There is stuff going to things that are completely unrelated to stimulus or relief. There are special interest groups that had their claws in this. And this is what I'm really upset about, is that more than twice, almost 2.5 times. Remember, the headline is all the homeless people that are not going to be able to pay their rent, that might be evicted if we don't suspend the moratorium on evictions, if we don't suspend the moratorium on if we don't suspend the moratorium on foreclosures. Where's that 68 billion going, and why is it not going more to real estate? Because let me go to some other numbers that as I was doing my research on this, as I looked at the amount that they estimate that's necessary to catch up with what's needed in the real estate market. Let me see if I can find that number coming up fairly easily. The estimate that I heard, yeah. So Moody's estimates that tenants nationwide might already owe $70 billion in back rents by New Year's, tomorrow. or about $5,850 per family across 12 million families. Eviction moratoriums will have to be pared down or paired with rental assistance, perhaps as much as $100 billion. So this package, which got pushed because of the so-called problem of all the homeless people, did not do that very fact. And that's where we got to call our congressmen, call our senators, and let them know that they got to pay more attention to the real estate side of the equation, because real estate is one of the fundamental pillars of our economy, and therefore that needs to be addressed pronto and in first place. So hopefully you guys will take me up on that call to action. What do I think is going to happen? I think that there's going to be more stimulus coming down the road. It's going to have to be. We got to make sure that it doesn't get filled with pork and all this extra stuff. But that's all I have time for today. Remember, we'll be back again, same place, same time tomorrow. The Real Estate Show, live at 5 days a week. Remember, you can catch all of our rebroadcasts. If you want to catch up on some of the stuff that we talked about, go to automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com for the link, for the replays, for the notes, and to be able to listen to this show live when it is live at 5 days a week. But that's it for today. Happy New Year to everybody out there. This is Eric Willner signing off once and for all for the year 2020. So long, goodbye 2020. But remember, drive safe tonight, be safe, be healthy, wash those hands, keep your social distance, and let's make 2021 a great year. Bye-bye now. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too.